Have you ever packed a single backpack for a short, 3-week getaway, fully expecting to return to your normal routine, only to realize years later that you never actually went back? There is a fascinating psychological phenomenon where a place doesn't just welcome you as a temporary visitor. It completely rewrites the entire trajectory of your life. Today, we are diving deep into what happens when a brief escape turns into a permanent reality, specifically in one of the most vibrant, relentless, and electric cities in Southeast Asia, Ho Chi Minh City.
It is funny how life works when you stop trying to micromanage every single detail. When you land in a city like that with just a backpack, you think you are simply passing through. You have a neat little checklist: see the historical landmarks, eat some street food, take a few photos, and move on to the next border. But certain cities possess a gravitational pull that completely defies logic. You arrive expecting a brief chapter, and you end up writing an entire volume.
That gravitational pull is something so many travelers talk about, but very few actually surrender to. Take us back to that very first moment of arrival. Stepping out of the airport into the thick tropical air of southern Vietnam for the first time must have felt like stepping onto another planet. What was that immediate sensory shock like?
Overwhelming is an absolute understatement. The moment those automatic doors slide open at the airport, you are hit by a physical wall of humidity, the scent of street food mingling with exhaust fumes, and an endless symphony of honking horns. But the real shock hits when you try to navigate the streets. Coming from a world of strict traffic lanes, pedestrian crossings, and orderly commutes, seeing a sea of hundreds of motorbikes moving in every conceivable direction is utterly terrifying. The first time anyone tries to cross a major street there, the instinct is to freeze. You look at the oncoming traffic and think there is no physical way to reach the other side in one piece.
It is legendary, that street crossing experience. Everyone who visits talks about it like an extreme sport. But there is a hidden philosophy behind it, isn't there? It looks like utter madness from the sidewalk, but once you are in it, you realize there is a profound rhythm to the chaos.
Exactly. In many Western cities, traffic is governed by rigid rules and stoplights. If the light is green, you go. If someone is in your way, you slam on the brakes or honk in anger. But there, traffic operates like a school of fish or a flowing river. You do not wait for an empty street because an empty street simply does not exist. You just step off the curb, maintain a slow, steady, predictable pace, and trust that the flow will part around you. It requires an immense leap of faith and a deep, unspoken trust in total strangers. The moment you hesitate, run, or step backward, the system breaks. It is a masterclass in collective intuition.
That is such a powerful metaphor for adapting to a new culture in general. If you freeze or try to force your old rules onto a new environment, you get stuck. You have to step into the flow and trust the current. But beyond the adrenaline rush of the streets, what was the catalyst that made a 3-week vacation turn into 3 full years? Because surviving the traffic is one thing, but deciding to build a life there is entirely different.
It really came down to a single, quiet moment of human connection during my first week. I was wandering through the narrow alleyways of the city when the sky suddenly opened up. When it rains during the monsoon season there, it does not just drizzle, it pours with an intensity that floods streets within minutes. I was hopelessly lost, completely drenched, and shivering under a tiny plastic awning outside a closed shop. Out of nowhere, an elderly woman running a small street food cart saw me looking miserable. She did not speak a word of English, and I did not speak a word of Vietnamese. But she grabbed my arm, pulled me under her large umbrella, handed me a dry towel, and pressed a fresh, warm baguette sandwich into my hands.
That is incredible. She did not see a foreign tourist. She just saw a human being caught in a storm.
Precisely. She refused to take any money for it. She just smiled, patted my shoulder, and poured me a cup of hot tea while we watched the rain flood the alley. Sitting on a tiny plastic stool, eating the most delicious food I had ever tasted while the rain roared around us, I felt an overwhelming sense of safety and belonging. That was the exact moment the city stopped being a destination on a map and started feeling like a place with a soul.
Radical hospitality is rare in big, modern cities that often feel cold and transactional. Yet, the community there stays warm. Deciding to stay permanently must have been a reality check. What changed when you moved from carefree backpacker to working resident?
The romantic idea quickly meets bureaucratic reality. Finding an apartment, handling paperwork, and setting up internet without speaking the tonal local language is humbling. Ordering a simple iced milk coffee was tricky. One wrong tone could mean fish coffee, expensive coffee, or something unclear.
Did that language barrier ever make you feel isolated? Or did it push you to engage even more deeply with the locals?
Instead of isolating me, the locals responded warmly to my efforts. Unlike in many big cities, where language mistakes cause impatience, their people delight in even a mangled sentence. Vendors laugh, help with pronunciation, and often give extra food, turning language barriers into daily moments of connection.
The city invites vulnerability and rewards it with warmth. After returning home briefly, how was your reverse culture shock? Why did the comfort and order of your home country feel less appealing than the chaos of Southeast Asia?
Returning home was a turning point. Instead of relief, I found it felt empty and quiet. The streets were deserted, with people indoors staring at screens. I missed the city's noise, energy, and late-night life, families gathering outside, eating and laughing. That city's vibrant street life is infectious, where life happens openly and loudly.
That observation strikes at a very modern dilemma. In many developed societies, we have optimized our lives for privacy, convenience, and absolute order. But in doing so, we have accidentally engineered out spontaneous human connection. We trade vitality for quietness. When you experience a city where community happens organically on every street corner, it makes you question what true quality of life actually means.
Development is often seen as silence and strict order, but humans thrive on ambient energy and shared spaces. In Ho Chi Minh City, private and public spaces blend seamlessly. A living room opens to an alley, sidewalks serve as restaurants, parking lots, daycares, and social clubs. You never feel alone, even when quietly sipping morning coffee. You are part of a vibrant collective.
How much of that lifestyle has permanently changed you as a person? When you look at how you live today compared to 3 years ago, what parts of your identity have been reshaped by the city?
I've become much more adaptable and patient, living in a place with sudden rainstorms and street markets blocking my way. I've learned to let go of rigid plans, stop stressing over delays, and improvise. Now, I can't start my day without strong iced coffee, can ride a scooter through chaotic traffic calmly, and enjoy bold fermented flavors I once feared. More importantly, I've realized home isn't where you're born or your passport says, it's where your spirit feels most alive.
That is a profound realization. If you had to distill the essence of this incredible metropolis into just 3 words for someone who has never experienced it, what would they be?
I would say electric, embracing, and ever-changing. It is electric because the energy never dips. It hums with ambition, youth, and movement. It is embracing because no matter who you are or where you come from, if you show respect and an open mind, the people will welcome you with open arms. And it is ever-changing because the city is constantly reinventing itself. Every single week, there is a new building, a new cafe, or a new idea springing up. It never stands still.
This city demands your full attention. You can't go through life on autopilot amid such energy. It makes us ask, how often do we stick to safe routines because we fear the unknown? Sometimes, the best discoveries come when plans fail, when we take a wrong turn, or embrace the chaos of a new place.
Absolutely. The world is full of places waiting to surprise you, but you have to be willing to get a little lost first. If you keep your eyes open and your heart receptive, you might just find that the place you were meant to be was never on your original itinerary in the first place.
A truly beautiful thought to end on. To everyone listening, whether you are sitting at a desk, commuting through a quiet suburb, or wandering through a bustling market halfway across the world, take a moment today to embrace the unexpected. Step off the curb, trust the rhythm around you, and see where the current takes you. Thank you for tuning into this journey with us, and until next time, keep exploring.
Safe travels, everyone, and never be afraid to let a new city change your life.